foreheads. Ta-da! Let's get started. All right, so I have already sort of glued that bad boy down because we're gonna need to glue our brows down for this. Just at the start, if anybody is new, this is just a glue stick, right? Just a glue stick. I'm gonna put a second coat on this guy. Get it nice and squished down. This guy's almost dry, coming up nicely. Now I am, for those who do not know, going to be using all of the Senegence products. I'm going to be using mostly shadow scents. So that is the cream to powder shadow. I like to use those a lot when I'm doing characters because they're a bit more thick and they're a bit more opaque and they're a bit more heavily pigmented. So, and they come in fun colors and all that sort of stuff. So I'm using some Whisper Pink, I'm using some Icicle, I'm using Caribbean for the blue. I'm gonna mix that down and make it lighter for the blue eye part up here. What else do I have? I've got Blue Red, which I'm gonna use to do the lip, the little heart lip. I do have a bit of Granite because I kind of feel like when I look at her look, yeah, her face is all white. But there is like a little bit of kind of a shadow under her eye as well. And she also has a bit more contouring in her cheeks than I do. So I'm gonna use a bit of gray to do that contour so that I can put a little bit more dimension in there. But to still keep it in that white powdered down sort of look. My face is pretty well prepped. I did not put any moisturizer or anything up here. Just because I find that glue doesn't stick as well if there's any moisture or anything on that skin, so I just keep it clean, letting it dry. It's almost there. All right, I'm gonna start with Whisper Pink and Snow. I'm gonna use that as my base. So it's almost white, it's just off white. You could use white, it just depends. So this is Whisper Pink I'm starting with. So I'm just gonna start getting some of this all over my face because this is going to be my base. I am going to blend this down my neck a little bit too. Okay, that's a good place to start. I do look beautiful. I'm just using a blending brush. I'm just working this in all over as my base. All right, just getting our base on. Now that I'm getting to this bit around the eyes where I've covered it up, I'm just gonna go under the eye a little bit. There we go. And I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go right over top of all of that. I'm just gonna get a white base on there first to start before I go putting in any of the other colors. All right, so that's pretty good. I'm going to use some of the Granite, the gray, and I'm just gonna go under the eye. Blend that out. So I want just a bit more shading under those eyes. She's got a little bit of shading, just making her look kind of grouchy. So we're gonna put a little bit under here. That's better. And I'm also gonna use a bit kind of contour the cheek area. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Okay. So I might just pop some through here. All right, so I'm just gonna buff this in because I don't want it to look overly gray. I just kind of want to give just a little bit more shape to those cheekbones because she's got fairly noticeable cheekbones. But I don't want blush or skin toned, so I'm using that gray to blend it in. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more just there. Blend that guy in. Oh yeah, that's better. So we'll just give it a little bit more shape. Oh, we're looking so beautiful. I am gonna put a little bit over my mouth as well. Here and here. Probably just gonna do all my lips, and then what I'll do is I'll go back over and I'll clean off the spot because I do need clean, dry lips to be able to get my lip sense to stick well. There we go. So I'll just pop that on for now, and then I'll clean off just the area in the middle where I'm gonna put my lip sense. Sorry. It already makes me laugh just like having like only a tiny bit of lip exposed. Now, just gonna show you guys the eye bits, which I'm gonna start to work on first. So it kind of comes up from the inner and outer corner. Comes up like that, like that. It's bright blue, and then she has a skinny little eyebrow up the top. And then we've got lashes, and they're not overly full lashes, but they're actually kind of like spidered lashes, and we have top and bottom lashes. We'll have to remember to put our mole on. So I'm gonna mix up a bit of snow and Caribbean to get my, so snow is white and Caribbean is the blue I'm gonna use. And I'm gonna mix them together and get a nice bright blue. I've got a little bit of Caribbean blue and snow, and I'm gonna mix those together. I've got that mixed together. I'm gonna get my liner brush. Just gonna take a look at my photo and see how high up we wanna make that go. It's pretty high up actually, probably right about there. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna start in the inner and outer corner. There's my little, there it is, my little hand here. I'm doing this with my eyes open so that I can see, you know, from the front. I don't want to do it with my eye closed because the line might not line up right. That's about. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I think I want to go a little bit higher with that, I think. So it's a bit higher on these inner corners than it is on the outer corners. That seems pretty good. I'm just kind of making my template before I start filling it in with color. I feel like that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. That'll be fun. Obviously her, you know, forehead is set back quite high. I have a really teeny tiny little forehead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill these in. Obviously her forehead is, you know, set back farther. I actually kind of have a really short little forehead, so I don't have as much head to work with, but we'll do our best. So, oh my gosh, this is already making me really happy. Okay, I'm gonna mix up just a bit more of this color, because I feel like I'm gonna need more to fill this in. So I'm just mixing a bit more snow and Caribbean together to get my nice bright blue. I'm just filling in all the area that I outlined. I'm gonna try not to muck up my shape. And what I love about these shadows as well is once they set pretty well. So I don't really have to worry about them smearing and smudging once they dry. All right, so that one's looking pretty good. I'll let that dry. I'll start working on this side. So beautiful. This is just delightful. All right. I'm just gonna clean off my little liner brush so I can use it for the black, because I'm gonna do the eyebrows at the top now, and I'm gonna use Onyx for that. So that's the black shadow sense. I could use the liquid liner as well, but I think I'm gonna use the Onyx. Now, which side? Let's get her mole right, since moles matter. Which side is the mole on? Let's see, because I'll use Onyx to make the mole as well. It's on her left. Her left. So like right here. That's her left. Yeah, so like right about there. All right. I'm gonna pop some Onyx on my hand. Thanks. Yes, that's a good spot for a mole. All right, so I've got some Onyx and I'm gonna do my brows. Let me just grab my hand mirror again, because it's easier for me if I can see up close what I'm doing. So I'm doing a really, really skinny, fine brow just up the top of that blue. So I'm using quite a fine little liner brush and some Onyx. See how thick these brows are. Yeah, they're pretty pencil thin. And take your time, you know, don't rush, and don't feel like you have to do something in one motion. If you need to, same with eyeliner, like if you need to do little bits to get your wings right or whatever, just take your time, and if you mess up, you can fix it. Beautiful. All right, so now for the eyes, I do have some lashes. So she's got, lashes on the top, but she also has like an upside down lash on the bottom, just below. And I think I'm gonna put some of the Whisper Pink that I used for my face. I think I'm gonna do my waterline with that as well, just to make it stand out a little bit more. So what I think I will do is I'll do that first. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that Whisper Pink, and I'm gonna pop that onto my waterline before I do the lashes. So I'm just gonna grab my liner brush, a little bit of Whisper Pink, and we're just gonna line up in here. I really like the shadow sense, by the way, for waterline. So I find that once it dries, it lasts nicely throughout the day, like better than a pencil for me. So I prefer it, even if I'm doing like a, you know, like a smoky look or whatever. If I use black Onyx, it doesn't, like, I find that it lasts quite well. I mean, obviously it's not gonna last as well as something that isn't on a wet part of your skin, but does last me pretty much all day. I haven't had any issue with keeping it on. So if you would like to try lining your waterline for various looks and stuff that you're after, and you find that a lot of other stuff hasn't worked for you, maybe give it a try. I really like it. All right, yeah. All right, so I've got 2 sets of lashes. They're the same, nothing fancy, but I wanted something that kind of has, you know, long and short lashes like that, because that's kind of the lash shape that she has for hers. So I'll put my top ones on first, and then I'll put the bottom ones on after. So I like to, when I'm putting on my lashes, just put a bit of the glue on first and let that sit for a moment and get tacky. So I'm gonna put it on this one first, and then I'm gonna put it on the other one, and I'll let this one sit and dry a smidge before I put it on. So that's the first one. I'm just gonna let that dry for a moment, and I'll put some glue on this other one. So, all right, so let's pop this first lash on. Grab my little thing. So we'll do our top lashes first, and then we'll do those bottom lashes upside down. I like to use tweezers to help me put mine on. That's just a preference. So just got a little bit of a liner, so I might just put a smidge of a liner on top once that dries. But I think those are a good amount of lash. They're not like too overly over the top. So there's that one lash, and let's do the other one. Okay, we'll let those guys dry, and I'm gonna grab the other ones, and these ones are gonna go on the bottom lash line, but they're gonna go upside down. So I'm just gonna grab, so I'm going to, yeah, that's looking good. Okay, so I'm gonna take these ones off, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna pop glue onto one first, and then glue on the other. So the first one can dry a smidge and get tacky, and then we'll pop those down below. So when I'm doing this one, obviously, because this is gonna go on the bottom, right? So normally, obviously, if you were going to put them on, oops, if you were gonna put them on this way, you'd wanna put your glue here, but since I'm gonna wear them upside down, I'm gonna put the glue on the bottom side because they're gonna stick underneath, yeah? All right, so these ones are gonna go on the bottom upside down. And I'm putting them under my own lashes because I don't want my lower lash line to get in the way. And this is partly why I decided to put a little bit of that gray underneath, because I just feel like it gives it a bit more of a shadow and dimension. Very fun. Okay, so we'll do the other one. All right, we'll let that dry for a moment because I don't want to muck them up. If I need to go back in and get rid of that little bit of glue, I will. But it'll probably dry clear, so it probably won't matter. Okay, because, you know, you guys, like I say all the time, like, I don't have time for perfect. Oh, you know what? I'll do the top lash before I forget about it. I'm gonna use a bit of the onyx again, just for a small little bit of liner for the top, because I don't really want it to be a liquid liner. I just kind of want to darken that lash line a bit. So I'm going to get a little bit more of the onyx shadow sense, and I'm going to use my liner brush just to define that top lash line a little bit. She does have a smidge of an eyeliner, so it's not super heavy, but it's just enough to sort of give a little bit more definition to the top one. I'm just going lightly along the lash line. Nothing too heavy. Just that little bit, just to darken that lash line a smidge. Okay, so I'm gonna clean off my liner brush. All right, so I'm gonna use blue red for the lips. I'm gonna give it a good shake, and I'm gonna use my liner brush to create the shape because it is a really like well-defined heart. So it's pretty big, and then the point comes down like past the bottom of the lip, and the heart bits come up a little bit higher. So I'm gonna create the shape first, and then I'll go back and fill it in. I feel like Fly Girl and possibly Blue Red are gonna be a good combo for this, but I'm just gonna use Blue Red to start. I can always go darker if I want to, but I think Blue Red will be good. So So I'm just gonna make a little bit of that on my hand. Let's just get the basic outline of this heart first, and then we can go back and fill it in afterward. That's pretty good for the top bit. I need a bit more. Let me just check. Let me just check the let me check the reference photo. That's looking pretty good. Might be slightly round, more round heart. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, we'll let that dry. Let that dry. Son Mason said hi. Oh, hi Mason. One more coat. I'll let that dry for a second. I think I'm gonna use just a little bit of the Whisper Pink to just go in and define the edges of that heart. So I'm just gonna go in with a liner brush. Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make the little bow a little bit more defined. So I'm just going around the outer edge with a little bit of that color we use for the base. Yeah. I think just defining those lips a little bit around the edges makes the heart pop a little bit, I think. Okay. Might use a little blending brush just to soften that out a smidge. Oops. Oh no! I'm getting a little bit of the shadow onto my lip color. We won't have any of that. Unacceptable! Unacceptable! Okay. Alright, I am going to pop out my hair now, which I've just pre-curled with a little bit of pin curl setting lotion. I use Lotta Body, that's the one that I like. And I'm gonna do the hair, which I think will be super fun. And I found something that I thought we could use at Kmart for a couple of dollars. That's delightful. Now I did part it down the center, and I pin curled with an iron. That's about a quarter of an inch, half an inch, probably a half-inch barrel, I want to say, just so we can get some curls in there. Okay, so while I was at the Kmart, I found this, which I thought would be delightful. It was for children, but who cares? I should have beautiful sparkly things too, right? So I thought we'd build the hair around this beautiful crown. So I parted it down the middle, and it fits me really well. It's perfect. It's the perfect size because it makes the head look really big. So I'm gonna fit that in first. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. I should wear a crown every day. So I might just anchor that in place with a couple of bobby pins so that it doesn't go anywhere while I'm doing my hair around it. Okay, I'm gonna put a bobby pin on either side just to make sure it's well anchored. Okay, so for the rest of it, I've got my hairspray. I'm gonna use Session Label Stronghold by Osis. That's Schwarzkopf, that's the Osis label. And I'm gonna do some back combing. And I've got some bobby pins and I've got some hair pins. So I've got some French pins like that, and I've got some normal bobby pins. And I'm sort of just gonna pin up the back into two sides. So I'm gonna split it down the middle, because her hair kind of comes up in like a heart sort of shape. So I'm going to sort of split it down the middle and the back. I'm just gonna pull all of this forward and roll it, these two side pieces. I have to say, okay, so I'm just gonna roll that up and pin it in place. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing back here. I'm gonna pin up that side. Just doing the back pieces. So I pulled up all the back bits up to the front here. Oh, you look gorgeous. Okay, and I'm going to just secure that. Yeah, that feels all right. And I'm gonna back comb this a little bit so I can get a bit of fullness in here. Same on the other side. Just doing the entire section, and then I'm gonna bring the front pieces back to meet it. Give those a good spray. And then these front pieces I'm gonna pull up over the headband. So I'm gonna pull this front pieces up. And I'm just gonna back comb from behind so I can get a little bit of extra fullness happening here. And kind of blend it in with the part from the back, yeah? That nice little spray. No such thing as too much hairspray. Yeah. I might actually put a couple pins just to hold the front bit of the hair to the back bit of the hair. Just a little hairpin back there to hold them together. And another one up here to hold this to the back piece. Just to lock them together a little bit. There we go. We look fabulous. We look gorgeous. We're ready to go to the post office. Okay. Actually, I have more orders to put together before I go to the post office, but I will have to go later. Beautiful! I love it. So much fun. Love it. So much fun. All right, guys. Thank you. I think we're good. I think we're gorgeous. We're golden. We're beautiful. We're fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed it. Mwah!